Alright guys, we're back with some more Dokkan content, and we're going to be using the Strength LR EZA Super Vegito against Red Zone Fusion Zamasu, who very soon-ish will more than likely no longer be the hardest enemy on Global. But for now, we're back here. We are back here. We've already used them against Shadow Dragon Omega, which, I mean, considering how long that can go on for, the stacking it plays a huge part, and they just do so well there. Now, we're in the complete opposite type of environment where they aren't going to be able to stack up all too much. They're only going to be able to stack up a little bit. However, they do have typeless advantage against Zamasu's second phase, so that is a major bonus, or a literal advantage. So hopefully by the time we do get into his second phase, we can get Super Vegito out. I think that's going to be the toughest thing out of anything, is literally just getting down to the HP condition to get the fusion off. Because 77% HP is kind of that, even though it's not a literal middle point, like it's not a middle point, it's not halfway. It's that point, I don't know why, 70% is always around that region where you can get to it fairly easy. However, the teams and the units you're using around, for example, in this case, Goku and Vegeta or Strength Vegito, they're so defensively good that you kind of almost have to weaken the team a little bit defensively to make sure you get there. But even then, you also have to maintain your HP there, because of course we have to get to the fourth turn, which really isn't difficult here. There's one of those of, if you lose a little bit too much health, you can get there fine, but as I said, maintaining it there, kind of difficult, because then you have to keep it there and also not die, which is a very possible thing, I think, near that threshold, which is what kind of makes it difficult, along with the fact, as I said, there's just so many good units to run with this Goku and Vegeta, this LR Vegito, where realistically you're not losing that much HP, even more so on JP. But right now, we're not even using them on a 200% lead, we're using them, of course, on a 170 lead. Just when it comes to their 200% leads, I am lacking a little bit, I won't lie. Like, I do have 3 of them, but realistically, I'm not using the LR AGL dual SSJs. They're just not good enough. Like, the AoEs would generally just... I don't want to see what Zamasu's AoEs would do to them too. LR SSJ 4s, the year 7s, they've aged quite a bit. I've used them against Zamasu, but I'd rather not run dual leads. But I've used them against Zamasu. They're not bad. They're not bad, but I'd rather not run dual leads. And they're just, as I said, there are better teams to run these two on. And then Fusion Zamasu, which is definitely the best, definitely runnable here. Very good unit here. We're actually losing enough HP, and it doesn't look too techy either, so we're actually kind of on track. The only thing with Zamasu is they don't really fit. I mean, I could take VB, but then I have to protect him at all costs, and hopefully he dodges in slot 3. Oh, and there's also the Carnival LR Goku, you know, the one from the Hachiak movie, but I'm not running dual him. Like, other than that, I mean, the new SSJ3 Goku don't have him. The new Vegeta don't have him. The new-ish SSJ3 Goku on Global, the Strength one, don't have him. The trio SSJs don't have them. So, I decided to just bring them on the 170 lead instead, and just see how that goes. I mean, they're only missing out on a little bit on stats, you know, 60% on total for HP, attack, and defense. It's not going to be that much of a difference. It would be nice, of course, to have them on the best, or at their best. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do. You've got to do what you got to do. But what's definitely going to help them in this first phase, whereas Buhan has type advantage and just dodge and guard, which just makes him perfect for this, for damage-wise, and just a lot defensively in the stacking. These two still stack, defense on both, you know, and they do have a built-in additional, which is good. They're only doing 30%, but with the built-in additional, similar to Buhan or Butanks at that point, kind of balances itself out, where you get 60% in total for the turn, but then that 30% base damage reduction, along with the extra 20% damage reduction, and crit chance, by the way, as long as your HP is 50% or more when attacking, which it has been. It has been. Do I use an item? These two don't need it. As I said, they're going to have 50% damage reduction, along with 287 in terms of defense. Not enough, but the damage reduction is definitely going to help. I mean, Trunks should be fine at this point. I mean, type advantage, he'll take a little bit just because he wouldn't have super attack just yet. I don't think we need to use an item. But I'm going to use one because, again, we're kind of near, if not, we are on that 77% HP threshold. We're going to get a little bit of health back with same type key spheres right now. But it's one of those where it's a little bit too techy to keep our HP at that threshold without risking dying without an item active. Again, this is another reason why I use the Whis. We probably would have survived that with Vegeta and Trunks, but we would take a lot of damage and would have to survive at very low HP. At least by the time we're either at the end of this phase or going in to the Fizz phase, that's when Super Vegito is coming out. And then, of course, we're going to get the full heal, which is good. But at least we're going to have Super Vegito for pretty much when we want him, when we need him, which is when he's going to pop off the most. Where the Scouter is going to be most useful when Zamasu's doing like almost 2 mil on a super, where he's going to have type advantage, where we can, again, see where the super's coming from, slide Super Vegito where the super isn't, and then let him just counter every single normal that comes his way, and then ends up doing ridiculous amounts of damage because of the type advantage, because of the crit counters, and because Vegito just terrorizes Dokkan when it comes to damage. Like, he literally just bitch slappers. I'm struggling. Why am I struggling? He just bitch slaps every enemy in the game. That's where I was going with that. At least we got there in the end. But I mean, we do have the HP condition, which is good. But that's why I popped the second Whis, or the Whis so early. To make sure we stay there and keep it. But also so we stay there and we don't die. Because having 400k, if not just 500k HP against someone like Zamasu, things can very, very easily go wrong, and I'd rather be safe than sorry. So as I always say, by all means, if you do no item runs, if that is your thing, by all means do it. I will try and not use items if and when possible, but if they make sense, I'm going to use them because they are part of the game. But we are definitely going to get them fused, which is great. So again, that full heal, type advantage, guard. Let's not forget that 3-turn guard. Let's not forget he's going to have crit counters against a type advantaged... Well, he's going to have type advantage against Zamasu while doing crit counters. But all importantly, one of the most strongest abilities in the entire game, the Scouter, foreseeing enemy super attacks for 10 whole turns. We're about to pop this. Yep. We actually got it fairly easily. We actually got this fairly easily. Alright, there's a super attack in slot 2. That's fine. That's fine. We're not even that well linked up. I mean, we can get Super Saiyan. We could get Super Saiyan. He doesn't have what Buhan has, does he? Where he can disable an enemy action. Yeah, no. He doesn't have that. Actually, how... Yeah, I want to see how he tanks the super attack. I think it's very obvious how he's gonna do. I mean, I'd probably do this. If it was a realistic run, I'd probably do this and pop their revival or pop their standby. But I want to see how much this man tanks on a Zamasu super attack with damage reduction. Doesn't have the extra 30 because it's not going to be a normal. And guard for 3 turns with 538k defense. As I said, that was always going to be a slight thing that goes against Vegito, is you don't get to stack too much while in Goku and Vegeta, but that's just bound to happen because of how short Red Zone Zamasu is. One thing that is for certain is he's going to do some damage. He's definitely going to do some damage. 50% chance upon a critical hit, just straight built in. Hopefully he gets an additional. Hopefully he gets an additional. Hopefully the dupe system pops. Only 9.2 though, but again, he's not on a 200% lead. And he only has like 3 links active. Big 7 mil crit. There's one. There's one crit counter. Is it only the one he's going to get off? No, he's going to get off 2. There's the second. Of course, these are not going to do any damage with the type advantage and the extra damage reduction he gets from normals. This is where the damage just starts to tot up. Right, how much is it going to do? Pretty much almost just shy of full HP. We've barely lost anything. Guard, damage reduction, type advantage. Only 182k. Only 182k. And he doesn't even have 600k defense. Actually, no, he would have. He super attacked once, so he would have like a bit over that, but The type advantage with the 3-turn guard, with the damage reduction. It's only 30%, but the 30% damage reduction with the guard plays a huge part. So him not having like similar defense to Buhan, because you can get Buhan's defense pretty high along with guard and dodge, which is just dumb. But 108, like he's back. He's here to terrorize the game again. I mean, yeah, he was already doing it. I don't think we're gonna make it through this. I think we're gonna do too much damage. Like, I know there's a super attack in slot 3, but I generally think we're gonna do too much damage to make it through the turn. He just oh, it's just ridiculous of how good Super Vegito is again. Like, and that's the main thing that I love so much, which they done really well on, was making the Goku and Vegeta portion of the EZA good and usable. It's not too strong where it's kind of like game breaking to have them out and then transform them or fuse them. But they are good enough. They are good enough to the point where you don't have to protect them at all costs and just kind of almost speed run to get Super Vegito out, even though of course you do want to get him out. But they are good enough to still be ran and good enough where you don't have to hide them until you can get the fusion off, which I'm a big fan of. Super Vegito has always been insane in terms of damage, and it's no different now. I mean, especially while having type advantage against one of the strongest enemies in the game, or at least a global for now, where he's going to have type advantage, he's going to have guard, he's going to have damage reduction, extra 30% damage reduction against normals, crit counters. It's done. The amount of damage he can generally do in one turn, not just in general, but against someone who has type advantage against, is stupid. It's stupid. But Super Vegito is definitely back terrorizing this game. But you can let me know your thoughts down in the comments, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Take care, have a good rest of your day, and peace.